Walter Payton rolled up 133 yards as the Bears beat Tampa Bay 23-0. Sunday afternoon, the Vikings and the champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Tommy Kramer passing to Sammy White for a score as the Vikings came back late, nearly pulling it out before losing 23-17. Today, these two teams meet at Bloomington, Minnesota's Metropolitan Stadium, a big game in the Central Division of the NFC. The Bears and the Vikings are each 2-3, trailing Detroit by 2 games. Hello, everyone. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here on a brilliant sunny afternoon, and obviously a big one today.
I think we're going to have a heck of a game, Tim, because both teams really have something to prove. The Vikings came down to Chicago, upset the Bears a few weeks ago, 34-14. Now the Bears are back up here in Minnesota. They haven't won here in 8 games, so I think we're going to see some fireworks.
Well, one of the fireworks might be from the quarterback, Mike Phipps of the Bears, as they showed a new wrinkle in their offense. They had Phipps, not known as a Fran Tarkenton type, running for 2 touchdowns, taking this one in from 5 yards out. He scored also from a yard away, and we talked to him about the new running threat.
It is a run-pass option, but basically we have a guard out in front of me, so it's a very simple play, really. And, of course, the other one just a 1-yard sneak, but however, it's touchdown.
I think Mike's glad to have the big guard out in front of him.
I'll have to go along with that.
Defensively, of course, the big star on Monday night and a galaxy of Bears stars with Alan Page.
Oh, he was just super. Of course, he's an ex-Viking, as you know. He did everything for the Bears. Look at sacks, he had tackles, he had an interception, a fumble recovery, a blocked field goal. He does everything. He is really the key to that Bear defensive line. Alan Page, who's having a super year. But Alan, as everybody else knows, it's what you do for me today.
We as a team have to consciously try to prevent the big play and make sure that if they score any points that they have to earn them. It takes them some time to do it.
When the Vikings beat the Bears earlier this season, it was on big plays, including, of course, Kramer to Ahmad Rashad. That's always a big danger for any team defending against that pass team.
Yes, as you know, Minnesota's a passing team, but Tommy Kramer's had some problems. He had 10 interceptions in the past 2 games, but when you have receivers like Rashad and, of course, Sammy White, you can get streaky and get hot anytime. The Vikings will pass a lot today. And look at the standings. The loser's in bad shape. Right now, they're 2-3. The loser comes out 2-4. Could be way behind, so it's a big game.
Well, the Vikings will receive. And Eddie Payton is the deep man. The Vikings to our left defending the north end in their home purple uniforms. The Bears in white. Bob Thomas will kick it off. There is Eddie Payton, brother of Walter. And Payton's kickoff gets the game underway. It's taken by the rookie Pascal from his own 11-yard line. Gets out to the 29, over the 30, and they're going to spot it at about the 34-yard line. A good return. Skibinski made the tackle for the Bears, and the Vikings will start with pretty good field position for the opening series. There is the offensive line. Riley and Yari the tackles, Boyd and Hamilton the guards, Dennis Woolley the center. The offensive backfield, Ricky Young and Ted Brown. The receivers, Rashad White, and the tight end, Bob Tucker. And the quarterback is Tommy Kramer, number 9. And there are his 1980 stats, and that key one is the one on the far right, 13 interceptions, 10 in the last 2 games, something that obviously he must improve on. Ted Brown on the first play is turned back by Hampton. Complete reversal of field and picks up a first down. What an effort by Ted Brown. He had 113 yards in the first game against the Bears earlier this year.
Dan Hampton had his hands on him, number 99. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see Brown here just go right out of his hands. He tried to hit him high. Brown with strong legs, turned around, went to the other side of the field. A good block there, kind of a block by Tommy Kramer, as Brown picked up his blockers and almost broke it for big yardage.
So a first down on a somewhat broken play to the extent that Brown was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, or met there by Hampton. But with a good reversal of field, picks up the first down. Brown again. Off the left tackle, it's stacked up at about the 47-yard line. It'll be a pickup of maybe 3. We'll call it 2nd and 7 for the Vikings. Gary Campbell, the linebacker, the first man to hit him. Here is the Chicago Bears defensive line. Hampton, Osborne, Page, and Hartenstein across the front. The linebackers are Muckensturm, Hicks, and Gary Campbell. The secondary, Schmidt and Ellis on the corners. Gary Fensick and Doug Plank are the safeties. They have lost Wentford Gaines, their 5th defensive back, to a wrist injury. He's on injured reserve. And they have added 2 rookies, Dave Becker and Jonathan Hope. On 2nd down, very little, if any, gain Fensick making the stop on Brown again, and it'll be no gain at all. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
There's a look at Bear guard Reeve Sorey, number 69, gives us a little smile. Reeve's all set. He's got his Gucci belt on. We saw that.
Yes.
He was down warming up, but he has a gold Gucci belt on, and he won't let us see that now while the game is on. But anyway, it's a beautiful day for football. 45, 50 degrees and sun shining up here in Minnesota.
Walderscheid and Herron come in for the Bears in the passing situation. Extra linebacker, extra defensive back. Kramer wants to throw. Complete. Oh, blocked by Ted Brown. It was wide open, and the ball was just in and out of his hands, and so the Vikings will have to punt it. Boy, Johnny, he had a lot of running room had he caught the ball. A breakdown on the Bears defense.
He certainly did. He actually collided with Len Walderscheid downfield, who was the extra back in, broke away from the jam and was wide open. Tough break for Minnesota. They'll have to punt.
Greg Coleman, number 8, at his own 31-yard line. The deep man is Lenny Walderscheid, awaiting it for the Bears at the Chicago 12. Coleman, pretty good punt. Walderscheid from the 15, up the sideline, knocked out at the 26, maybe the 27-yard line by Robert Miller, number 35. And so the Vikings have completed their first offensive series. We are scoreless here in the first quarter. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington. 45 degrees, bright sunny skies, a perfect football afternoon, very little wind. First down Bears, first offensive series for Chicago. Payton and Roland Harper are the running backs in the eye. Harper got 2, maybe 3, out to the 30-yard line. Stacked up by the middle of the Vikings defense, Doug Sutherland, with help from the linebacker Jeff Seaman, number 50. Here is the Bears offensive line. Albrecht and Dennis Lick the tackles. Jackson and Sorey the guards. Dan Neal at center. Walter Payton and his old running mate Roland Harper back in action. James Scott, Brian Baschnagel, the wide receivers. Robin Earl, the converted running back, is the starting tight end. Of course, Mike Cobb is on injured reserve for at least another couple of games, suffering from pneumonia. They drop the tight end off to the wing position. That's Earl. He comes in motion behind the ball. Payton behind the right guard, digs his way for maybe 3 more yards. Following Sorey and Lick, and a cross block from Albrecht, and it'll bring up 3rd down and close to 3. Seaman made the tackle, and there is the Viking defensive line. Mullaney, White, Sutherland, and Holloway across the front. The linebackers Blair, Seaman, and McNeil. And the secondary, Johnny Turner, Bobby Bryant on the corners, Tommy Hannon, curtain off the safeties.
And Seaman gets the start over Scott Studwell because Studwell's a little bit banged up, but he'll come in on a 3-4 situation.
Robert Fisher in at tight end, joining Earl. They're in this one running back offense, and Johnny will be talking about it. Payton trying to get to the first down is stopped short by the Viking defense, and it looked like McNeil sliced him from underneath, and at the bottom of that pile, Doug Sutherland. So a good job by the Viking defense.
It appears that both teams are trying to establish a running game, the old age-old adage. You got to establish the running game, and I think that philosophy ought to go out the window because the way things have been going as far as the passing game is concerned, some of the rule changes, I think you ought to establish the passing game and then worry about running next, Tim. That's my opinion, being a receiver.
Okay, the Bears will have to punt. We'll see what happens when the Vikings get the ball. It is Parsons hitting. He dropped the ball. Bob Parsons, it's loose, and it is Minnesota ball, I believe. The Vikings say they have it, and now the officials do. Tom Hannon appeared to be the guy to get it. There's Nord on top of him, and it is Hannon at the bottom with the ball. Parsons just plain dropped it.
It was a little bit low, but he still should have had it. And just dropped it as he tried to lift the ball up for the punt, and here comes a swarm of Minnesota Vikings. They had the punt block on anyway, so there were a lot of people. It really didn't matter who recovered the ball because it was 4th down anyway. Minnesota's ball.
Johnny, it was big plays that beat the Bears the first time around when these two teams met. The Vikings coming out on top, and they've started off with one here. A Bears turnover. Ricky Young hit right at the line of scrimmage, struggles forward, breaking the tackle of Osborne for maybe a yard or 2 at the most. And the Vikings in excellent position here now following the fumble by Parsons. You know, you don't see him do that very often. I can't remember the last time that Parsons has dropped one cleanly. Looked like he was just turning the ball over to get the laces up in order to make the kicking motion, and he just dropped it.
And you hit it right on the head. Baltimore, by the way, leading Buffalo 10-6. Parsons is a sure-handed punter. It's just one of those things.
We saw Green Bay over Tampa Bay, and that's a key battle also in the Central Division. 2nd and 9. Kramer wants to throw. Cross field. Almost intercepted by Allen Ellis, who had excellent coverage on Rashad. A heavy Bears rush forced Kramer to throw that perhaps a little prematurely. Dallas in front of San Francisco 7-0 in the first period.
And I think we got to credit Rashad with a good job of preventing Allen Ellis from making the interception. The ball was thrown a little bit behind Rashad, and Ellis had that ball, but Rashad kind of pulled on his arms and twisted and everything and kept him from intercepting the ball. And Tommy Kramer still has some problems. He has been rushed most of the year. He hasn't had all the greatest protection, but he has a tendency to sometimes miss or throw to an ill-advised receiver.
Sensor and LeCount have come in for the Vikings on 3rd and 9. 2 more receivers in the shotgun. They give it to Brown. Brown's got running room, but he's cut down inside the 20, short of the first down. Mike Hartenstein and Gary Fensick combining on the tackle, and it'll bring up 4th down. So the Bears defense rising up to stop the threat of the Vikings, at least the touchdown threat, following the turnover on the fumble by Parsons. And so it'll be a field goal try. Rick Danmeyer into the game. Danmeyer has attempted only 4 field goals thus far in 5 games, has hit on 2 of them. This will be from the 25, a 35-yard attempt. Holding is Steve Dills, number 12. And it is good. So the Vikings convert the Bears' turnover, the fumble by Parsons, into the opening points of the game here in Bloomington. It is 3-0 with 8:57 remaining first quarter. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Bloomington. We're awaiting the Vikings kickoff. The deep man for the Bears in white to our right is Dave Williams. You're looking at Danmeyer, ready to approach the ball with Minnesota on top. 3-0. Good kickoff. Williams from the 3-yard line. Hit at the 19 by Keith Nord. Falling forward to the 21, Larry Brune in on the tackle there. And so the Bears will start from their 22-yard line.
The Bears would like to do something in the first half. They only have 1 touchdown this year. That's in 5 games during the first half. As you look at Bear head coach Neil Armstrong and the offensive line coach Jerry Fry.
The Bears have not won here in Minnesota since 1971. And what a game to try and turn the tide. A critical game for both these teams. I formation. Harper and Payton are the running backs. Scott, the wide receiver out to the left. Payton off tackle right, picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 for Chicago. Linebacker Matt Blair, number 59, made the tackle for the Vikings.
Walter Payton, who there were a lot of rumors about him being banged up this week. I think he was a little bit, but he had a stomach flu, a stomach virus, missed a day of practice. But I talked to him down on the field before the game, and he said, don't believe any rumors that I'm sore and banged up. He said, I'm ready to play ball. He said, there's nothing wrong with me.
Ricky Watts comes wide left, number 80. There is Walter Payton, and you can see that he runs equally well on the natural turf or the artificial turf. Bears Soldier Field, of course, artificial. Payton, what a move. Payton still going as he breaks tackles over the 40 to the 44-yard line. His initial move at the point of attack sprung him for that big gainer and a Bears first down. McNeil finally pulled him down.
He has such quick lateral movement as he comes off that I formation. Just dipped to the outside, got around Mullaney, and just turned it on. And watch his legs. His legs just keep moving no matter how many people are hanging on him. And finally, a bunch of Vikings bring him down. But Walter Payton, who gained only 39 yards against the Vikings down in Chicago, he wants to make amends for that. But he has, in the last 4 games up here, gained over 100 yards.
Dave Roller in at right defensive tackle, replacing Sutherland on the Bears' first down from their 43. Phipps swings it out. Payton nowhere to go. Roller making the tackle. And he got maybe half a yard at the most. John, what do you think was the intent on that play? It started out looking a little bit like a screen, and yet he was out there all by himself, just a regular swing pass. He had no help out there.
That's right. They were trying to get it out to him and let him. It's like anytime you can get the short pass out to the halfback out on the sidelines, it's like an end run getting around the horn. But the Bears haven't gotten too many yards on those short passes. Let's take a listen to the penalty.
Illegal motion, number 35, offense, declined, second down.
Roland Harper illegally in motion on the play for the Bears.
The Bears have the shortest average per catch of any team in the NFL. They only average about 5 yards per pass, and that's one of the problems. Thank you very much for the kind words here up in Minnesota. But the Bears have got to throw the ball down the field sometimes. That's one thing the Vikings will do, throw the ball downfield.
Slot formation right on 2nd and 10. There was no gain on that play. Thus the penalty declined by the Vikings. They shift to the I. Harper the lead back. Watson motion. Payton cutting it back up front. Was hit hard. Shook off that initial hit from Duck White and got forward to the 45-yard line before he was smothered there, but a pickup of only 2. So White did his job, although he couldn't hold on to him.
How many plays in this game so far has anybody else touched the ball besides Walter Payton for Chicago on offense? And the trend is the same. And sometimes an offensive team can get overloaded. Payton is such a great asset. They feel they've got to use him as much as possible, but you've got to learn how to hit somebody somewhere else, and James Scott is the man.
6 defensive backs in on 3rd down for the Vikings. Phipps has time. Intercepted by Nate Wright. Forced out of bounds by Bashnagle. And the Vikings, with 2 early turnovers, have command again with the ball at the 48-yard line.
Well, they tried to go somewhere else. Maybe that's why they don't go anywhere else, because Minnesota came up with a fine interception here. As you take a look at Mike Phipps, the big pass rush by the Vikings. Watts does the turn in, but there's the interception by Wright. The ball was back thrown behind him. Minnesota has the ball again.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Bloomington, Minnesota, where the Vikings have just picked up another Bear turnover. And look at that score. Cincinnati, the only team to beat the world champs so far, 17-0 over Pittsburgh. On 1st down, the Vikings pick up a couple. Ted Brown going straight ahead, and Hartenstein, the first man to slice him down with help from the linebacker Muckensturm, number 58. The Giants in another possible upset over the Eagles, 16-3. Philadelphia going without Wilbert Montgomery today. Picked up of close to 3, 2nd and 7. The Vikings following the Nate Wright interception of a Mike Phipps pass. Brown again. Flag down. He has 1st down yardage to the 40-yard line of Chicago. Osborne ranging back from tackle finally hauled him down, but a flag back at the point of attack, holding the preliminary signal against Minnesota. The referee today is Jerry Markbright. The umpire Ed Fiffick, head linesman Dale Hamer, line judge Bama Glass, back judge Tom Kelleher, side judge Willie Spencer, and field judge Bill Stanley.
Holding, number 67, offense, 2nd down.
Dennis Swilley was called for the penalty. Let's see if we can get a good look at it. It's kind of tough to see, but you see the penalty was called right away. Now we have a passing situation. I have an idea that maybe Kramer and the Vikings will roll out a little bit more than they have in the past. They had some success with that against the Steelers last week in the 2nd half.
Rashad left, White right. Young and Brown, the running backs. Kramer short drop, quick sideline, Rashad complete. Can't shake the tackle. Allen Ellis got him by the ankle. And Rashad nearly shook loose, but a good effort by Ellis contained him, and he brings up 2nd down and about 6. 3rd down, pardon me, and 6.
I think Ellis must have a whole bunch of stickum on his hands, don't you, Tim? I tell you what, he hung to him like glue, because Rashad could have gone a long way if he could have slipped out of that ankle tackle.
3rd wide receiver comes in for the Vikings on the passing down. Terry LeCount, number 80. He goes left. Sammy White in the slot right. Wide right is Rashad. Brown, the lone setback. Kramer for Rashad behind him, incomplete. Terry Schmidt on the coverage. And again, some good pressure, and another penalty is signaled against Minnesota, holding the apparent call on the third down situation.
Well, it would be fourth down, and then the Bears will probably refuse it so that they will force them to punt.
Number 73, offense, declined, fourth down.
Ron Yari called for holding and declined by the Bears. And so it'll be Greg Coleman, number 8, in to punt. Lenny Walterscheid, the lone receiver, standing at the Bears' 10-yard line. And the Bears get out of that situation following the Nate Wright interception, forcing Minnesota to punt. Coleman standing at his own 37. Angling for the corner, a short punt. A Viking roll, however, and it'll be down at the 6-yard line of Chicago. So often that happens. What appears to not be a good punt can turn into a dandy. So the Bears will start from their 6, and they trail 3-0 with 4:40 remaining in the first period. The Dallas Cowboys have taken a 14-0 lead over San Francisco. The Niners started out 4-0, beaten last week, and in a battle today against a good football team. The Giants now lead 16-3 over the Philadelphia Eagles. First down for the Bears from their own 6-yard line. The double tight offense with one running back again, something they introduced last Monday night against Tampa Bay. The one running back is, of course, Walter Payton, who squirts out to the 13-yard line. The first down play turns into a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Doug Sutherland made the tackle for Minnesota.
Quick eyes for Walter Payton as he cut back up, saw the hole, and squirted through it. This is an offense that the Bears used to quite a bit of success last week against Tampa Bay in the second half. There's Ahmad Rashad. There's talking to Mr. Kramer about, we got to hook up right, because Kramer actually missed on that pass to Rashad there on that third down pass. But we may see that double tight end formation even more as the game goes on.
Roland Harper has come in for the tight end Fisher, so they're back into the conventional set. Robin Earl, the tight end, moves to the other wing, and Payton tries the short side. Pushed out at the 15-yard line. And he will be short of the first down by about a yard. It'll be 3rd and, let's say, a yard to go for the first down. Bobby Bryant, the cornerback, made the tackle, number 20.
Walter Payton is now 7th on the all-time rushing list, and he's only in his 6th year. He has 7,400 yards, moved into 7th. He's got 480 yards so far this year. He is really piling up the yards.
Back to the double tight end, but this time taking the wide receiver out, James Scott, bringing the rookie tight end Fisher in the wing formation on short yardage. Payton trying to get wide. Good play on him on the corner there by Johnny Turner, and it'll be close to the first down. Payton's second effort would appear to have gotten them the first down. Pretty good defensive job out wide.
Oh, a heck of an effort by Payton, too. As you see the Vikings defensive line, and everybody got across and forced him deep. Walter used a little straight arm to get away. You'll see Turner coming up here to make the tackle. He gives him the shoulder and then just keeps his legs going, reaches forward, and it appears very close. In fact, he did get the first down. Super effort by Walter Payton.
So the Bears churn it out from their own 6-yard line. A little breathing room now at the 16. Harper and Payton come out in the pro set. Scott left, Bashnagel right. Payton jumps to the wing, now back to the eye. A lot of formation changes here before the ball is snapped. Harper straight ahead is hit by Sutherland right at the line of scrimmage. Bowled his way forward for maybe a yard and a half. 3-0 Minnesota lead. It came on a field goal by Dan Meyer after Bob Parsons fumbled a punt snap.
And both teams going with a basic 4-man front. The Vikings like to use some 34 defense, but they haven't much so far today. They're going with the 4 front linemen with the 3 linebackers so far. As you look at New England ahead of Miami, 17-0.
Watts, Williams, and Fisher all in for the Bears. Williams replacing Harper at the setback position. complete to Payton, hit immediately at the 20. A gain of only 2, a flag down away from the ball. Seaman made the tackle on Payton, holding a signal against Chicago.
Well, there was only a 2-yard gain for Chicago, but I have an idea the Vikings still might take the penalty to get them as deep as they can towards their end zone. They have to decide whether to give the Bears a first down situation deep or 2nd and 8.
Time winding down first period. 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. Minnesota with a 3-0 lead. Brilliant sunny afternoon. Temperatures between 45 and 50 degrees. Ideal football weather. They take the penalty. It will place the ball at the 9.
Holding number 70, offense, 2nd down.
Dennis Lick is number 70, the right tackle.
There's James Scott talking to Mike Phipps. He's saying, I know what he's saying. He's saying, throw the ball to me once in a while. As Scott goes out of the game, he shouldn't have said that.
Ricky Watts goes right. Chris Haynes, number 83, brought the play in. That sent Scott out. Haynes is split wide left. 2nd and 20. Williams flagged down as he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. And a version of the Statue of Liberty. Another holding signal against the Bears. Sutherland made the hit on Williams for the loss. So the Vikings defense, which did a great job against Chicago in the first game, is doing it again so far in this first period.
And we have to give some credit to Fred McNeil. He came across on the outside and forced the ball carrier back inside.
In that first game,
number 34, offense, declined, 3rd down.
Walter Payton, who does a lot of things, also does a little bit of holding every now and then. It got nailed that time. In that first game, the Vikings had 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 pass knockdowns, and held Walter Payton to 39 yards. That's a pretty good defensive day.
They had more sacks against the Bears than they had the rest of the season against all the other teams.
3rd down and long for Chicago. Extra defensive backs are in. Phipps from the end zone just got it away complete to Ricky Watts. Good play. Phipps to Watts, short of the first down, but he got them out to the 25-yard line and did not miss by much, about a yard. Holloway had the pressure on Phipps, but Phipps able to get it off. However, it still brings up 4th down, but a little more breathing room. They'll be punting from the 10-yard line. Baltimore has now opened a 17-6 lead over unbeaten Buffalo. Don McCauley scoring on a short run. Parsons awaiting the snap at his 10-yard line. Gets it away from the 15. Good punt. Eddie Payton dropped the ball at the 36. He's pounced on by the Bears' Robert Fisher, number 85, the rookie tight end. And so Parsons, the GOAT on the earlier punt attempt, comes up with a big one this time. And the Vikings will start from their own 33-yard line.
Eddie Payton is not quite as big as his brother, but he's just as slippery. He's a quick little guy. And fortunately for Minnesota, the Bears' coverage didn't get down too quickly when he fumbled that ball. They were making sure that Parsons' punt was not going to be blocked. But we'll hear from Eddie Payton more before this game is over.
I think there was a little sun factor, too, for Eddie on handling that punt reception. This is Ricky Young, number 34, and Hartenstein mows him down behind the line of scrimmage. There'll be a loss of a yard on the play. The Penn State defensive end doing the job defensively in his 6th year, the number 2 pick in 1975.
And we got to give some credit to Gary Fensick. You know, that safety force is so important. He came across the line of scrimmage on the outside, forced the ball carrier to cut back, and there was Hartenstein to make the tackle.
2nd and 11 for the Vikings, who lead 3-0 on a Dan Meyer 35-yard field goal. Wide to the left goes Rashad. Out to the right, Sammy White. Young and Brown in a wide pro set. Kramer play action. Brown on the screen gets a block. Brown to the 46-yard line of Chicago. There are no flags down. A big first down play. Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, 54, made the tackle. Good play by the Vikings.
And poor Gary Campbell for the Bears, number 59, the linebacker out there, had to fight off two offensive linemen. As you see, the screen was one to perfection. Brown yells go, and there is Swilly and Brent Boyd to take care of Gary Campbell, number 59, to break it for Ted Brown, who gets up and gets a first down for the Vikings.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Bloomington, Minnesota. The end of the first quarter saw the teams about dead even in offense. 59 yards for the Bears, 55 for Minnesota. It is first down for the Vikings. Now defending to our right. Deep for Sammy White. Overthrown by Tommy Kramer. Schmidt on the coverage one-on-one with the fleet-footed Sammy White.
And those are the feet of Reeve Sorey. See the black wing on the inside of his foot? He tapes his feet all the way up beyond his ankles, paints the inside of it, puts on his Gucci belt, and then plays one heck of a football game. I'll tell you, there he is. Reeve Sorey, one of a kind from the University of Illinois.
It is 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 46-yard line of Chicago. Terry LeCount is in as an extra wide receiver. Ricky Young is out. The lone setback is Brown, shifting down to his left, and he gets the ball met right at the line of scrimmage. And that was Alan Page, number 82, reading that play and nailing him after a gain of about a yard.
A great play by Dan Hampton, too, number 99. He took that trap block from Boyd and just stuffed it. There's Walter Payton and Dave Williams, who has a slight bruise on his wrist, just checking to see if he can grip the football. And there it is. Tuck it in there. Notice how he has it. The nose of the ball is between his thumb and his finger. You never... There you go.
Third down and 9. Kramer under heat. Gets it complete to Rashad. First down, Vikings at the 31-yard line. Terry Schmidt, number 44, made the immediate hit. But Rashad curled back and got himself open for the first down play. In that first period, each team had only 2 first downs, and so the Bears defense continues to play well. And the Vikings obviously matched them in this first period. The only points on the board, Dan Meyer's field goal following the Bear turnover, the fumble by Bob Parsons. But the Vikings are now moving it on in. They're at the 31-yard line of Chicago. Young is back in, joining Ted Brown in the backfield. Play action. Kramer back cross field, and Campbell had that figured all the way. The ball is loose. Picked up by Fensick. Fensick all the way down to the 15-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 20, and it was the tight end Tucker who was hit by Campbell, but the ball was complete. And so Fensick, alertly picking up the fumble, takes it all the way, and they're going to spot it at the 19.
Okay, a pass back across the field here. We'll have to take a look on the call. The official was right there. There's the tackle, and he did fumble before he hit the ground, and up picked the ball Fensick, and Brent Boyd does a pretty good job here. That's a lineman chasing a defensive back here. Gary Fensick is stretching him out, but there was a great save by Boyd as he prevented a touchdown. As we'll take a look again, the fake of the handoff. Kramer, who throws that ball back against the green quite often, has had some problems on that kind of a pass. This time Gary Campbell was right there for the tackle. The ball was jodled loose, and Fensick picked it up.
So the Bears will try to utilize the Viking turnover. First down pass play. Interception. Turner, number 27. And Scott claiming interference, but no flag is down. And the Bears turn it right back to the Vikings. That pass hung up there with Scott behind his defender, Turner. Phipps just didn't deliver the ball.
He ran a flag pattern to the inside, then back to the out, and Turner just played it well, made a good play. That's all there is to it.
Consecutive turnovers, no points on the board, and the Vikings have the ball. Ricky Young with a flag down takes it wide right and picks up about 5 before he's forced out of bounds. Fensick, the man who made the long run to the Vikings 19 with the fumble, was the man to push him out. Penalty against Minnesota.
And as you stop back and think about what's happened in the last minute or so, that save by Brent Boyd, preventing Fensick from going all the way, turns out to be a big, big play.
You bet. The rookie from UCLA, their number 3 pick, who's become a starter.
Illegal motion, number 78, offense, first down.
And that is Steve Riley, the left tackle, guilty of the illegal motion. And so it'll be 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line. Ricky Young. Gain of maybe 3 at the most on the play, trying the right tackle side. Muckenstern was there, the linebacker number 58, to put the stop on him. Gary Campbell coming from the other side.
Baltimore's leading Buffalo 17-9, but you can't count the Bills out. They came back to beat San Diego last week.
I like the Colts this year. Burt Jones healthy again. Curtis Dickey, the rookie, and some of their other young players that have come along, and they've gotten through those injuries. They're a good-looking football team. 2nd and 11 now. In motion is Sammy White behind the ball. Kramer. Screen to Brown, but the pass pulled him backwards, and it broke down the blocking in front of him, and the Bears got there quickly. Dropped him for a loss on the play. Terry Schmidt taking him out of bounds, and he lost about 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 16 for Minnesota, and it's now spotted inside their 15-yard line.
That was rather a super catch for a big loss, wasn't it? It was an acrobatic type. Now they have a 3rd and 16 situation. Chicago knows that the Vikings will probably pass that ball.
LeCount comes in as the extra wide receiver. Ricky Young is out. They put White in the slot left with Rashad wide left. Brown, the lone running back. Short drop and incomplete. And a good rush on. A flag is down. The penalty is against the Vikings. Alan Page was in there deep, and he had some company. It'll be 4th down.
Holding, number 62, offense, declined, 4th down.
Boyd guilty of holding. Bears decline it.
Here's Alan Page, number 82, putting the rush on. He's the one that got there a little bit late. And there was the holding, as you got a good look at it, as he got a little hand holding from Brent Boyd.
So again, the Bears defense does the job. From the goal line, Coleman awaiting the snap. Walderscheid, the deep man for the Bears. He hits it from the 6. Good kick. Walderscheid takes it at his 42. Walderscheid over the 50 to the 49-yard line of Minnesota. And it was Henry Johnson, a rookie linebacker, number 53, who made the tackle there. So the Bears have pretty good field position at midfield when they return here in just a moment. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris with 12:02 remaining first half. Minnesota leads it 3-0. Bears first down at Minnesota's 49-yard line. Harper and Payton, the running backs. In motion is Baschnagel behind the ball. Payton takes it the other way. He's got some running room and picks up 4, maybe 5, before Mark Mullaney, number 77, with help from Jeff Seaman, number 50, pulled him down. Phipps is 2 for 5, 17 yards, 2 interceptions. Kramer is 5 for 10, but only 43 yards. So neither quarterback has been able to generate much of a pass offense thus far. Cincinnati continues to lead the Steelers, and they're now in the 3rd period, 17-0. It is 2nd and close to 6 yards for the Bears at the 45-yard line of Minnesota. Payton again, off tackle left. Ran into one of his own blockers. Worked his way forward for another maybe 3 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 3. Sutherland and Mullaney stopping number 34. Payton 133 yards against Tampa Bay Monday night.
He had a hat trick last year against the Vikings up here. He threw for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown pass, and he ran for a touchdown. They call that the hat trick in football.
Payton has rushed 10 times so far for 45 yards. The extra defensive backs are in on this third down play. Nord and Wright joining the Vikings secondary. They flare it out. The Payton is hit immediately. Johnny Turner had that one pegged all the way. And they had quite a rush on Phipps, although that was not really a factor because the play was to be thrown quickly out to Payton anyway. Just a good read by Turner.
That's right. It's just kind of like a little screen as Payton goes out in the flat. And you see Dan Neal, number 52, coming over, but Turner had smelled the play, and of course the pass was high, and Payton was rather exposed for a pretty good shot that time, and he got it from Turner.
So the Vikings defense continues to impress, and the Bears will have to punt. Parsons standing at his 34. Good rush by Minnesota. Excellent punt by Parsons. Payton at the 10. Eddie Payton. Eddie Payton still going. Gets out to the 27-yard line, but a flag is down back at the 15. Clipping is the preliminary signal against Minnesota. So a good punt return by Walter's brother. The older brother, by the way. Maybe smaller, but he's older.
Yeah, he said he taught Walter all he knows.
He taught him well. And the run goes for naught as the clip call is marked off against Minnesota.
That makes a little difference on field position, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Personal foul. Kicking number 53 on the run back. First down. Timeout.
Henry Johnson, one of the two rookie linebackers named Johnson, the other being Dennis, is charged with the clipping. We have 9:52 remaining first half. Vikings lead at 3-0. Ryan and Johnny Morris, the Vikings will start from their own 6-yard line, make it the 7-yard line. On first down, Ricky Young finds a good hole behind the right guard, Wes Hamilton, and brings it out to the 15-yard line. Good running, good blocking.
Good blocking on the right side of the line. John Villa that time wheeled Dan Hampton out. He's playing now in place of Ron Yeri, who's had all kinds of foot and leg problems the past few weeks, and it's just a little bit painful to play when you got broken bones in your feet, I guess, huh, Tim?
I guess. He's the kind of guy that you would know would say, I'm ready to go, but he has admitted he had trouble moving laterally. Ted Brown trying the right tackle side, getting close to the first down yardage. A late flag is down, however, and we have run into a plethora of penalties just in the last 10 minutes of this football game. Holding the signal against Minnesota. And so what was going to be, it looks where they marked it as though he had the first down, will now be negated. They mark it back to the 7-yard line.
Holding number 81 offense. Second down.
Joe Sensor, tight end.
Let's take a look at Mr. Sensor and the repeat of the play. He's working on Dan Hampton, number 99. He grabs him with his left hand just momentarily, which made enough for the ball carrier to get by, and the officials spotted it. A good call as Dan Hampton turns around and says, where's the call? Where's the call? And he got it.
Terry LeCount is in as a third wide receiver on 2nd and 10. The Vikings backed up deep. Rolling is Kramer. Gets the pass out complete to Ted Brown. Picked up maybe a yard at most on the play. And the penalty situation stands this way now. Minnesota has had 4 for 31. There's a friendly Bear getting into Minnesota intact. See if he gets out intact.
Boy, it's a good time to be wearing a uniform like that. It's getting a little chilly out there. He's got the right outfit.
The Bears have had 1 penalty. Minnesota 4. Gain of only a yard, and the Vikings make some changes offensively. Ricky Young comes back in. Bob Tucker comes in at tight end, and the Bears send in some extra defensive backs in the passing situation. Walterscheid is the nickel back. Third down and 9. Kramer's pass was deflected, intended for Ricky Young, who was well covered by Walterscheid. Meanwhile, yet another flag is down. Looks like it's being signaled against the Bears, possibly for roughing the passer. The referee is Jerry Markbright. We'll get the call momentarily. That appeared to be the preliminary signal.
Well, that would give Minnesota an automatic first down. and really make a difference in field position.
Boy, you're not kidding. They had them backed up and hurting.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 55, defense, first down.
That's the rookie linebacker Otis Wilson from Louisville, who was in as the extra linebacker in the passing situation. A little over-eager, perhaps. And so the Vikings, with help from the Bears, have a first down at their own 23-yard line now. They lead 3-0 with 9:05 remaining in the half. Brown blasts his way straight ahead. Hard running by Ted Brown. Tom Hicks, the linebacker, pulled him down, but not before a gain of 8 yards on the play. Well, the young man from North Carolina State, the #1 pick a year ago.
I think maybe Tom Hicks thinks he was back in his kiddie days, because he got a horseback ride from Ted Brown that time. He just hung on, and Brown carried him for about 5 or 6 yards.
Ted Brown had 113 yards rushing against the Bears in the Vikings' earlier victory this season. Ricky Young, nowhere to go on the right side. Bears just stacked that up. And you see Osborne trying to steal the ball, but the play had already been whistled dead. Hampton was there, the linebacker Muckensturm, the safety Fensick. They just filled everything over there. Gain of maybe a half a yard at the most. It'll be third, and let's call it 1.5 feet to go.
Both teams have been busy trying to establish that running game. The Vikings haven't had too much of a running game this year, except for a little bit in the Bear game, and the first half of the Steeler game last week they ran fairly well. But there's a lot of teams that are winning football games with a total of 80, 90, and 100 yards rushing. The game is turning to passing.
Third and short. They have 3 tight ends in to block, but Tommy Kramer has elected to take a timeout to make sure that he has the right call with the coaching staff in this important situation. 7:59 to go in the half.
There's Bear coach Neil Armstrong on the right in the red. Used to work for Bud Grant.
Third and less than a yard. Oh, what a hit. That was Doug Plank coming up, Ellis make it, number 48, Alan Ellis, but he could not prevent the first down. Ricky Young just got it. I mean, Ellis really came flying in there, got a clean shot on him, but Ricky Young, with his effort, got the first down for the Vikings.
You could hear that one up here. It was quite a bit of contact between Alan Ellis. Usually it's Plank or Fensick doing that. This time Alan Ellis smelled it, but it wasn't in time.
Dallas now in front of San Francisco, 24-0. The Niner bubble bursting. Kramer on first down, away from Hampton, gets the ball away. The intended receiver, Sammy White, but that was a desperation toss by Kramer to prevent the loss there with Big Dan Hampton in pursuit. Pittsburgh has scored against Cincinnati. Russell Davis scoring from a yard out. They missed the point after. Cincinnati leads at 17-6 in the third period.
You got to look at number 58, Jim Langer, now in at center, and had so many great years with the Dolphins, but he lives in Minnesota, wanted to play here, and he is.
Picked up a couple of weeks ago from the Dolphins. Kramer, short drop and complete. Sammy White couldn't keep his balance, or he had even a bigger gain. First down, Vikings to the 46-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Fensick made the hit. So the Vikings move into Chicago territory on a good pass play. Kramer to Sammy White. Tucker comes in with the play, the tight end number 38. Rashad comes out to the left. Rashad's earlier reception make 51 consecutive games in which he has caught at least one pass. All kinds of early motion there. Wes Hamilton, the right guard, getting off early. And 3 flags to make sure that that call is made.
I think the Vikings, Tommy Kramer is arguing that somebody over on the Bear defense might have yelled something to force somebody to move. But to no avail, it's going against the Vikings.
Well, that's technically a false start, but I wouldn't say there was anything false about the block Hamilton threw coming off the line.
False start, number 61, offense, first down.
Kramer is now 7 of 13 for 65 yards. As we look at Mike Phipps, victim of 2 interceptions so far, including one in the end zone. 1st and 15. Ricky Young. Buckensturm caught him at the corner. Campbell made the forcing play. He leaped over him.
Yes, it was Campbell who stripped the blocking, and boy, he took the punishment. Watch number 59 come across the line of scrimmage. He's going to collide with Brown and Hamilton, knock down the blockers, and then allow the rest of the Bears to come in and make the tackle. And that's what a linebacker or a player have to do sometimes. You see those two fellows coming at you, you got to just commit suicide so somebody else can make the tackle.
3 wide receivers are in for Minnesota. LeCount replacing Ricky Young. Kramer just got it away. A wobbly pass is intercepted by Walterscheid. Lenny Walterscheid. It was intended for Sammy White. And the pressure from the Bears forcing Kramer to cough up a wobbler.
The Bears put a blitz on. You're going to see Otis Wilson come charging here, and Kramer is forced to go forward in the pocket, and then he tries to throw while running here, and boom, he just couldn't get enough zip on it, and Walterscheid was there on the coverage, comes back for the interception. The pressure caused that one, and maybe Kramer would have been better off to eat the ball.
First interception by Chicago. The Vikings have had 2. It is Bears ball, first down at their own 17-yard line. Roland Harper off left tackle, breaks tackles and gets out to the 26. A pickup of about 7 on the play. Bobby Bryant on the corner made the tackle. Good effort by Roland Harper, getting back into the action after being on injured reserve a year ago and getting his first start last Monday night against Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh has closed it to 17-13. Terry Bradshaw to Jim Smith. And meanwhile, Philadelphia and the Giants, the Eagles getting back into their game. The Giants lead it 16-10 in the 3rd. 2nd and a little more than 2 to go for the first down. Harper again battles his way close to the first down yardage. And Holloway, with help from the safety Knopf, stopped him. It would appear to be just short of the Bears' first down. Let's see how. Nope, they gave it to him, by golly, and the Bears bring it out smartly following the Walterscheid interception. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings of the National Football League is prohibited. First down, Chicago. Phipps under pressure. Phipps to Payton. Oh, Payton dropped the ball. It's still late. And it is Chicago ball. Well, that was an entertaining play. And it wound up being a gain of about 4 yards.
Well, Phipps did a great job of getting this ball off because he was under pressure. The Vikings put the blitz on, and then he has to roll out here, and Holloway almost got a hold of him, but no, and he spotted Walter Payton waving his arms, and then Walter makes the move here, and then fumbles as he gets hit from behind. Down goes the ball. Walter has it. No, he doesn't. Who's got it? Anyway, the Bears wound up with it. Who did get it?
I'm not sure which Bear got it. That picture doesn't indicate, but they have the ball, and it looked like it might have been Walter himself who finally gathered it in. It winds up bringing up a 2nd and about 2. The ball at the 36-yard line of the Bears. And an injury on the play as Mike Phipps, way back where he threw the football. And you see Evans warming up and Mike Phipps being attended to. Phipps made a real good effort there to get that, first of all, to elude the rush, and secondly, to find the open man Payton and deliver the ball to him. Phipps is headed to the sideline. Dave Roller was the man who put the hit on him just as he released the football. And Vince Evans, number 8, comes into the lineup for the Bears with a 2nd and 2 from their own 36. 4:10 remaining in the first half of play here in Bloomington. Baschnagel, 84, is wide right. Scott, 89, is wide left. Vince Evans is 16 for 41 in his appearances in the first 5 games of this season. Some motion by the Vikings. Harper going straight ahead has the first down yardage, but did the Bears draw the Vikings over? The Vikings say yes, they did. And it is illegal procedure against the Chicago Bears, so the first down will be wiped out.
Well, Vince Evans has been in several ball games this year for the Chicago Bears, but most of them has been when the Bears have been way behind.
Offense.
Number 8, he called it on the quarterback. Evans must have made a move that the officials did not like. But anyway, Evans has always come in when the Bears are down 14, 21 points or something like that. This time he's getting in when the game is fairly close. It'll be a good chance for Bear fans to evaluate Vince Evans. There's been a lot of controversy about Mike Phipps, Vince Evans, Bob Avellini in Chicago. We'll see what Vince does today.
Wright and Nord have come into the Vikings secondary, joining the other 4 in this passing situation, and all kinds of motion. That time, again, the Vikings coming over. A question of whether they were drawn, whether it was a cadence count against Evans on that first one.
Offense.
Well, they just say offense this time. Might have been Reevy sorry, and it might have been the quarterback. We'll not find out, evidently.
False start, number 69, offense. Second down.
Well, Sorry is the guilty party this time. Mike Phipps, we are told, suffered bruised ribs. Will be able to return with 3:50 remaining here in this first half. It is likely that they will not bring him back until the second half of play. Second down and 13. Payton works his way out over the 35 to the 36-yard line with some nifty running. It is Johnny Turner with Mullaney coming back from defensive end, putting the stop on him and bringing up 3rd and 2. Now Phipps is coming back in, so he's evidently feeling well enough to finish off the half here with 3:25 remaining. Payton trying to get wide left, cannot do it. Excellent defensive pursuit by the Vikings, shutting down the left corner. Holloway, the man to get him. Hot pursuit by Roller and the linebacker Blair and McNeil. Fourth down. The Vikings have certainly matched the Bears with the defensive performance in this first half, and they hold a 3-0 lead. Parsons standing at his 21. Eddie Payton awaiting it at the Vikings 24. Good kick again by Parsons, backing Eddie Payton back to the 15. Eddie Payton gets to the 29-yard line before he's pulled down by Brian Baschnagel. And so the Vikings will have a 2-minute offense plus 22 seconds, holding their 3-0 lead.
Well, we'll get down here towards the last 2 minutes. Maybe something will happen in this ball game. It hasn't been the most scintillating ball game, but there's a lot of time left, right, Tim?
Well, Monday night was a good example where the Bears really didn't do anything in the first half of play. Wound up winning it to 23-0, scoring 20 points in the second half. First down, Vikings. Blocked by Hartenstein. Intended deep sideline to Rashad. And big Mike Hartenstein got the hand up in front of Tommy Kramer's pass.
And watch how quickly Alan Page, 82, gets off the line of scrimmage here, and he takes up 2 blockers here, and Hartenstein comes to the inside, leaps up, times the leap, and bats it down. Credit Alan Page and Mike Hartenstein, the right side of the Bear defensive line. Good play.
Second and 10, Vikings. Complete to Rashad. He has the first down. Ahmad Rashad. Plank and Ellis on the coverage and the stop. The Vikings get it out to their own 39-yard line. We have the 2-minute warning coming up right now. And so the Vikings, leading 3-0, have now got themselves in pretty good field position with 2 minutes to go in the half.
If you had...
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, as we look at Tommy Kramer coming back from the sidelines, where Bud Grant and the offensive staff have given him the 2-minute strategy. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has come from behind to go ahead of the Giants 17-16 on a 19-yard touchdown run by Terry Harrington. They are in the third period of that game. Dallas leading San Francisco 24-7 as the Niners finally got on the board. Los Angeles in front of St. Louis 7-0 in the second period. Kramer on first down. Quick pass to Brown. Works his way for a gain of about 8 yards over the 45-yard line. Osborne, number 68, with help from Muckensturm, 58, on the tackle for the Bears. 2nd and 2. A little more than 2 yards to go. Walter Scheid comes in, giving the Bears an extra defensive back, along with Al Harris making a 5-man front. Pass intended for Rashad is incomplete. Bears had good pressure on that play. Ellis on the coverage. 5 rushers coming in on Tommy Kramer.
That's right, and they have Al Harris in there, so they have 5 defensive linemen. Not too many teams use that anymore, but the Bears used it last week, and they're using it a little bit this week.
And they had Doug Plank coming on the safety blitz. Well, at halftime, coming up very shortly here, we'll be going to the NFL Today. You'll get all of the scores and highlights from around the league, and also a special feature on the Massachusetts Maritime Academy and its team. It's an interesting story. I know you'll enjoy it. Irv Cross handling the report. Third down. Big play here for the Vikings, and complete to Rashad. Rashad has the first down, gets out of bounds at the 42-yard line of the Bears with 1:22 on the clock.
How'd you like this job, to have to cover Ahmad Rashad? He just comes down, just did a little thing, and a little dinks to the outside, kind of like a short hitch, then heads for out of bounds and gets the first down and stops the clock. 2 things at one time.
The Bears have Schmidt, Fensick, Plank. Allen Ellis. 5-man front. Lee Coombs in as a linebacker. Kramer on first down, deep. Incomplete. Intended for Sammy White. Double coverage on him. Schmidt and Plank. Second down, 1:16 on the clock until halftime. Minnesota protecting a 3-0 lead, trying to expand it to 10.
As you look, there's James White, who was yelling out to his teammates, keep the ball. I don't want to go in before halftime. We got to score. As you look at the Vikings offense now, Kramer hasn't rolled out all that much today.
Second down, slot formation right. One setback is Brown. Kramer has time. Intended for Rashad. Good coverage by Terry Schmidt. Rashad looking at, hopefully, at the official for a penalty call, but just excellent coverage.
Okay, there's number 44, Terry Schmidt. He's on the inside, just runs with him, turns, follows the ball carrier, then looks for the ball. Good coverage by Terry Schmidt, and that's a tough job to cover Ahmad Rashad all over the place.
Tucker brings the play in, number 38. Sensor goes out. Hampton leaves the field for the Bears. 3rd and 10, 1:11 to play on the half. 3 out of 7 on 3rd down. They need this to keep their drive alive. Ted Brown couldn't quite gather it in. Nearly got it on his own deflection. Walter Scheid had the coverage. Plank came up to help out. Ted Brown almost came up with a great catch, but it is 4th down, so the Bears defense again has shut down the Vikings. Coleman will come in to punt. Walter Scheid awaiting it at the 10-yard line of Chicago. 1:06 to play in the half. Vikings punting Coleman at the 45-yard line, angling for the sideline. It goes out near the 15-yard line, and they're going to spot it at the 16. We have 1 minute exactly remaining in the half for the Bears to try and do something here, trailing 3-0.
Mike Phipps is coming in at quarterback. I thought possibly with the sore ribs and with a minute to go, they might try Vince Evans and see if they can move down that field in a minute. We'll see how the Bears play it on their own 14-yard line with a minute to go.
What do you do here, Johnny? Run it out?
I don't. But I always like offense and always like to throw the ball. Go down and play football.
6 defensive backs in for the Vikings. So they expect the Bears to be throwing. Bashnagel, Watts, Scott, 3 wide receivers. That looks like pass. But it's run. Walter Payton. And the Vikings shut him down for a loss. First man there was Mullaney. And right with him was Duck White. And then they got lots of help from their friends. Payton thrown for a loss of nearly 3 on the play. It'll back it up to the 12-yard line. Robin Earl brings the play in, and he comes in at tight end with the extra wide receiver Watts going out.
Well, the Vikings, as you mentioned, have 6 defensive backs in there, and you can bet that one of them is always going to go wherever Walter Payton goes. Somebody's going to be watching for Walter.
2nd and 13, 17 seconds on the clock. They give it to Payton. And he is greeted by a welcoming committee at the 15-yard line, picking up 3, maybe 4 yards, and we have 8 seconds on the clock.
Second charge timeout, Minnesota.
Bobby Bryant and Kurt Knopf made the tackle, and the Vikings called the timeout. They got the Bears in there deep enough. They can hope something good will happen for them. There have been turnovers in this first half. Bears fumbled once. Vikings fumbled once. And the Vikings have made 2 interceptions. The Bears 1. And shortly, we'll be going to the NFL Today. Brent Musburger and company bringing you up to date around the NFL. Some interesting scores for sure. And feature by Irv Cross on that school's football team, a Division III team that had most of its players wind up being at sea when the football season began. And nonetheless, they've been doing all right. We'll find out all about them. There's Bud Grant and company.
Now, you have to figure if the Bears didn't throw on 1st and 2nd down in this situation that they're going to run the ball again. The Vikings call timeout because they can call another quick one and at least force Chicago to punt the ball, and maybe Payton can break one. Eddie Payton for Minnesota.
Yeah, that's the old anything can happen theory here, which I think is good football. 8 seconds left with the ball down in Bears territory. Get a fumble or force the punt. Something good might happen for you. Payton, good hole up the middle. Gets it out now to the 26-yard line. And so 2 seconds remain on the clock, and the Vikings take their last time out, but the Bears got the first down. So that changes the picture, but it was worth the try, I'd say. Vikings part to call timeout. 2 seconds remain in the half. The ball is now at the 26-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Now what do you do, John?
Well, if they wouldn't throw before when they had a minute to go, I would throw the ball. Get your 3 wide receivers out there and throw one of those
That's
prayer
what I like
shots
to
or
hear.
something
Why
like
not?
that.
They got a little breathing room now. I mean, they're at the 26.
I think you got to break the philosophy of playing not to lose. You got to play to win rather than playing not to lose. And I think,
well, of course, the argument would be, you know, they'd say, well, we're only down 3-zip. I mean, it's anybody's ball game when the second half begins. Don't take the chance. But I'm with you. Let's throw it up and see what happens. They got 3 wide receivers out here on the right side. And they're going to throw. All right. Deep for anybody. And it's incomplete. There were a whole bunch of purple shirts down there, along with 3 white-shirted Bears, Watts, Scott.
The preceding message was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris as we await the second half kickoff by Minnesota's Rick Danmeyer. The Vikings in purple to our right, the Bears in white to our left. The deep man is Matt Suhey, the rookie from Penn State. Suhey from the 4. Hit at the 22, battles to the 24-yard line, where the Bears will begin, and they trail 3-0 in a defensive struggle. Not a sparkler offensively in the first half, but much at stake here in this football game today, Johnny, and I just got to believe that both these head coaches are going to say, we've got to open something up and get some points. 3 isn't enough for Minnesota, and the Bears don't have any yet.
I'll have to agree, and I'm just taking a look at some of these statistics for the first half. The Bears had only 4 first downs in the first half.
Well, they have the ball now with first down from their own 24-yard line. In motion, Baschnagel back toward the ball. Roland Harper straight ahead, picks up close to 5 yards on the play. And Matt Blair, the linebacker, number 59, made the tackle. And there are the halftime statistics. 4 first downs for the Bears, 8 for Minnesota, and not a whole lot of offense thus far.
The Bears had 96 yards in total offense. The Vikings had 144 in total offense. First down efficiency wasn't very good by either team. 2 for 7 for the Bears, 3 for 8 for Minnesota.
James Scott goes wide left. They have not gotten the ball to him. Baschnagel is wide right. They're in the pro set. Matt Suhey cutting back against the grain, picked up 2 yards on the play. Maybe 3 when they spot it. Sutherland made the tackle along with Tom Hannon, the safety, number 45, coming up. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
And the Vikings were blitzing on that play. They're blitzing quite a bit now into the gaps, and the blitzes are running right into the runs. A lot of times a blitz is really more effective against a run than you think of a blitz automatically to try and prevent a passing game. But they're really stopping the Bears in that middle of that line.
Vikings defensively strong in the first half. On 7 third-down situations, they stopped the Bears 5 times. 3rd and 2. Harper back in for Suhey. Payton, nowhere to go. The Bears will have to punt. The Vikings just fired off the line defensively, filled every crack. Duck White was there. The safety came up again. Hannon, number 45. And so Chicago will punt. Parsons standing at his 17.
And this has to be a little bit distressing for head coach Neil Armstrong, because the Vikings have been giving up almost 400 yards a game. And they have really stopped Chicago, and they stopped Chicago when they were down in Chicago, too.
Parsons hitting it. Eddie Payton will take it at the 25-yard line of the Vikings. Number 31, away from one tackler, but is corralled. And they'll spot it at the 29-yard line, where Minnesota will have the ball for the first time in this second half under bright sunny skies. A 3-0 lead for the Vikings early in the 3rd quarter. The Eagles have come from behind a 16-3 deficit to now lead 31-16 over the Giants, and look what the Patriots are doing to Miami. It is first down, Vikings here, their first series of the second half. Ted Brown is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a yard on forward progress. The former Viking Alan Page, the man to meet him at the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9. Ron Yary has returned at tackle for the Vikings on the right side. Dennis Swilley is back in at center replacing Jim Langer, and Dave Huffman has come in at left guard replacing Brent Boyd.
And we say how bad the offenses have been doing, but we have to give some credit to the defenses. The Bears are doing a heck of a job, and so is the Viking defense. In this day and age, when you hold teams like you're doing, like they're doing today, somebody's doing things right.
In the slot formation left is Sammy White. Rolling right is Kramer under pressure, and he's tackled by Page as he released the ball, and they will rule it an incomplete pass. The man in the general direction of the football trajectory was Ted Brown, number 23, and that is good enough to get the incomplete.
Let's take a look at number 73, Ron Yary, for the Vikings, who is now back in the game. He's blocking on Dan Hampton, number 99. He hits Dan Hampton to the outside, then sticks with the block, and he's playing with 2 bad feet. As you see Kramer come through, and of course Alan Page is the one who ends up making the tackle. Page, as a matter of fact, has 8 sacks, which is more than 14 NFL teams have. That's pretty good for one man.
Terry LeCount is in as the third wide receiver. They're in the shotgun. We haven't seen much of this so far today. Kramer with the blitz completes the pass. Excellent play by the young quarterback. Complete to Terry LeCount. Walterscheid and Fensick there to put the stop on him, but the Vikings have a first down at their 41. Plank on the safety blitz, and Kramer picked it up and delivered the ball quickly.
From the shotgun, Kramer does a good job under pressure here because the Bears were there. You see Dan Hampton and Doug Plank right there. They put the plank on Kramer, but not until he threw the ball right on the dime. Completion and first down, Minnesota.
Rashad left, White right. Ted Brown has a good hold. First down. 11-yard gain for Ted Brown, who had a 113-yard day the first time these teams met. Plank made the tackle. Brown had 33 yards in the first half.
Watch number 67, Swilly. He steals off 54. Tom Hicks right there, 67 on 54. That was the key block as Brown got through, got big yardage before Plank was in on the tackle again.
Brown came into the game with 249 yards rushing total. And as we mentioned, 113 of that coming against the Bears earlier this year. Ricky Young, number 34. Got maybe 2 before Fensick cut him down. The linebacker Campbell was there as well, number 59, and Hartenstein forcing the play from the defensive end position.
Now, Ricky Young is starting his 74th consecutive game. That's pretty good, Tim, for a running back. You know, you take a lot of knocks and you miss a game or two now and then, but not Ricky Young.
And Ricky Young has caught the ball 22 times coming into the game. That is his primary contribution after his blocking efforts. He's the back that they'll throw to most often. 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. Fake the draw. Up the middle. Open is the tight end Tucker. First down Vikings, and the best drive by either team is underway. Muckenstern and Fensick made the tackle. Alan Page again with the pressure on the passer.
82 at the bottom of your screen. Alan Page puts the rush on, puts pressure on Kramer, but Kramer still gets it off as Tucker was wide open. He cleared the linebackers, and here comes Page. Completion, another first down for Minnesota, our first real drive of the game.
They're at the 23-yard line of the Bears. Minnesota leading 3-0. Wide right Rashad, wide left Sammy White. A cross buck. Ricky Young got a yard, maybe 2. Alan Page met him. Also at the bottom of that pile for the Bears defensively is the middle linebacker. They make it the right side linebacker, Gary Campbell, number 59. Green Bay and Tampa Bay are now tied at 14. Doug Williams running it in from 5 yards out for Tampa Bay. They had been trailing in the game 7-0 and 14-7. A big one there. They also have a 2-3 record like the Bears and the Vikings in the Central Division of the NFC. 2nd and 8. The Vikings driving. Play action. Kramer. Cross court. And that is intended for Tucker, the tight end, and way out of bounds as the coverage there by Campbell might have impelled Kramer to just throw it away.
Did you notice all the room Kramer had off to the right side of the field, off that formation and that play action? We may see something similar to that again because there was a lot of room off to the right side as a play comes in. Looks like Terry LeCount's going to bring it in. They're obviously alternate players to bring in the plays from the sidelines.
Al Harris has come in defensively, replacing Hampton for the little stronger pass rush here on 3rd and long. Big play for the Vikings here. They've had a good drive thus far. They need the 3rd down conversion. Quarterback draw. Kramer is close to the first down at the 13-yard line.
They pulled that play against the Steelers last week and made it go for a touchdown. This time they almost got the first down. They're in a situation on a 4th down and about probably a half a yard in good field goal position. But of course, if they could get the touchdown to make it 10-0, make a big difference.
Harris and Plank made the hit on Kramer. and stopped him almost a yard short. They're looking to the Vikings sideline to get the decision. They're going to go for it.
There it is off the play action. A good play, and Kramer takes a shot right to the ribs. He's lucky he came out healthy on that one. They really hit him, but no scratches, no marks, or at least no pain. Maybe he does have a few scratches as they're going to go for it.
3 tight ends are in: Tucker, Brewer, and Sensor. 4th and just a little less than a yard. Ricky Young, he has it. Ricky Young got close to the 10-yard line before Campbell pulled him down. And Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, number 54. So with a power play, the Vikings keep it going and have a first down at the 11-yard line. Yari and Hamilton doing the blocking on the right side for Ricky Young. Baltimore now leads Buffalo 17-12. They had a 10-0 lead in that game, but the Bills are battling back with 5:53 gone in the 4th period. First down here for the Minnesota Vikings. Ted Brown inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, where Dan Hampton put the nail on him.
The Bears are using their kind of pyramid defense. They had all 3 linebackers inside the defensive ends that time. Maybe they'll use it next time. Very interesting defense that the Bears use. It would seem to be very vulnerable to the outside.
The ball is at the 9-yard line of Chicago. LeCount has come in to replace Ricky Young. They have 3 receivers in the game with 2nd and 8. If they get to the 1-yard line, they'll have another first down. 1 running back. Short drop by Kramer. Intended for Tucker, incomplete. Good coverage by the Bears on that play. Picking up Tucker was Wilson, number 55, the rookie linebacker. New England now leads Miami, Johnny, 34-0. It's not too often the Dolphins get embarrassed, even when they're hurt and have players injured and so on in their worst years. You don't often see them get their hats handed to them like the Patriots are doing today. That's got to be a long afternoon for Don Shula.
There's Matt Blair taking a well-deserved rest while his offense tries to score a touchdown.
Ricky Young back in for the Vikings on 3rd down. Kramer to Ted Brown, gets away from Herron. Flag is down. Brown did not get into the end zone. He's forced out of bounds at the 1-yard line, but a flag is down back in the Vikings backfield.
What's your guess, John? A hold? A holding penalty, it appears, and somebody is down on the field. Is that Kramer?
It is Kramer. Brown, trying to get into the end zone, was forced out at the 1-yard line, and he is slow to get up down there. Brown is now on his feet, but Kramer is not yet up on his feet. But Brown is still kind of flexing and stretching down at the goal line. So 2 key offensive players both hurt on the play. Steve Dills will be the candidate to come in for Kramer if necessary. And the penalty has been marked off against Minnesota.
Holding number 78, offense, 3rd down, timeout.
Steve Riley, the 7-year man from USC, is charged for holding, and Kramer is still down, being attended to by the training staff. 6:05 to go, 3rd period. Johnny Morris at Bloomington, Minnesota, where a holding penalty has hurt the Vikings drive, sent them back to the 19-yard line. Steve Dills is in for the injured Tommy Kramer. We'll have a report on Kramer as soon as possible. He went off limping. Out of the shotgun, they give it to the tight end. He throws it back. Throws the pass. Well, there's a little razzle-dazzle in an otherwise dull, defensively oriented football game. The tight end, Joe Sensor from Westchester State, throwing it back to the quarterback, Dills.
There's the inside handoff, and number 12, Sensor throws a nice pass. I think Dills be better off throwing the ball rather than trying to catch it. Doug Plank was there to make the tackle if he had caught the ball, but kind of an interesting play pulled out by the Minnesota Vikings, as now they'll go for the field goal.
Dan Meyer will attempt from the 27-yard line. He has hit already from 35. This is a 37-yard attempt.
They better watch out for Alan Page.
Ganmeyer has it up and over. So the Minnesota Vikings, on the best drive of the football game by either team, 52 yards in 13 plays, and they lead it 6-0. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, and there's a look at the statistics on the drive, with the Vikings now taking a 6-0 lead. A short kickoff. The tight end Robert Fisher has the ball, and the big man bowls his way out to the 33-yard line. Combine of Vikings brings him down, led by Nord, number 49, and Henry Johnson, number 53, the rookie linebacker.
I was thinking about Steve Dills dropping that pass. He'll never be able to chew out a receiver from the rest of his career because he dropped that pass, and he can never say anything now.
That's right. I guess that's one drawback in going out on a pass pattern. Dennis Johnson is in to replace Matt Blair. We're trying to get an injury report on Blair. He did take off his shoulder pads and might be through for the game. On first down, intended for Bashnagel, incomplete, a flag down. Turner on the coverage, number 27.
The Bears went into their double tight end situation that time with the one remaining back, who was Walter Payton. We'll see if they use that more. That's what I was talking about earlier in the game. They used it to quite a bit of success against Tampa Bay. We have a penalty against the Vikings, apparently.
They used it on a few plays in the first half to no effect whatsoever. It did work well against Tampa Bay.
Number 52, defense, first down.
That's the rookie linebacker Dennis Johnson, who just came off injured reserve. He's from USC, the number 4 pick by the Vikings. He's playing the right side linebacker. McNeil has moved into Blair's spot on the left side. First and 5. Harper has a hole. Harper has a first down to the 47-yard line. Mullaney had to range way back to make the tackle on Harper. It's good to see Roland Harper out there and moving well again after an assortment of injuries over the last year and a half.
As he goes out of the ball game, but he's come back from a tough knee injury. It's been a long, hard, arduous trail, and he played a little bit last week, and now he's seems to be getting his legs back as the Bears, hopefully for them, think they might have a drive going.
There's a stat Mike Phipps would wish we didn't flash up there for the world to see, but points on the board are all he's interested in. He's got lots of time, and he completes the pass, and oh, what a hit. They about broke him in half. Was that James Scott?
Yes.
James Scott hit from behind, hit from in front, and he made the catch and held on for a first down to the 39-yard line.
The Bears pick up the blitz, as you see number 34, Walter Payton, blocking, and then Scott's wide open. I'd play off of Scott, too, with the kind of speed he has. And then you're going to see the hit here, Bobby Bryant, and then comes from the other side. You see number 25, Kurt Knopf, really put the cruncher on James Scott.
Fortunately, his leg got released from underneath, but that could have been a knee injury. In motion behind the ball is the tight end, Earl. Pitch out, Payton. Payton knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and a good collision there with Turner. And a pickup by Walter Payton of 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. Mullaney got in on the tackle as well.
This is what the Bears would like to get all the time. That time on the pitch to Payton, he was able to get around the horn. They got around Mullaney. There's Dennis Lick, number 70, and Mullaney, 77, had a little hand fighting, and Payton got around the horn. Finally, Turner comes up to make the stop, but not before he had to get by James Scott, who did a good job of blocking, and he's a wide receiver, too.
It is 2nd and 1.5 yards to go. Double tight end offense. Payton straight ahead is met right at the line of scrimmage for very little gain, 1 yard at most. Short of the first down by 1 yard. He got close to the 30. A final score, the Patriots 34, the Dolphins nothing. An embarrassing day for Miami. And so New England now goes to 5-1. The Dolphins fall to 3-3 in the AFC East. Seaman making the play on that dive try by Walter Payton, who now has 75 yards on the day, 66 in the first half. 3rd and 1 yard. The Bears trying to keep a drive going. Phipps sneaking, and it looks like he has it. Mike Phipps And while they sort out the bodies, it'll depend on the placement of the ball, but it looks like a Chicago first down. Matt Blair, we are told, a shoulder injury, unspecified, will not return today. So the rookie Dennis Johnson will get some play with McNeil moving over to the left side.
Well, I bet Mike Phipps' head is ringing because Jeff Seaman came up and really dinged him on the top of the head.
Close enough to measure, as you can see. First down. So the Bears coming right back from the Minnesota drive now are at the Vikings 29-yard line with the first down. They trail 6-0. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here on a sunny afternoon. Temperatures in the high 40s.
If they run Scott on that turn-in, he'll be wide open.
Neil Armstrong looking on, talking to his staff upstairs. Payton up the middle is stopped. Seaman, number 50, got the ankle tackle on him, and then they straighten him up, the rookie Dennis Johnson. He got a half a yard at the most. Well, they had motion, they had a shift, but they wound up going straight ahead with Walter. The Vikings didn't buy it. Second down, 9.5. At the Vikings 29. The Vikings a little slow to break the defensive huddle. One running back again, Payton. Fisher and Earl, the tight ends. Phipps with time, open is Scott. And it's complete for a first down to the 11-yard line of Minnesota. And Phipps delivered that one on the money. The oldest story in the game. You give quarterback time, he's going to get the ball there. And he had plenty of time on these last two good passes of his. Philadelphia has defeated the Giants 31-16. They trailed in that ball game 13-0 and 16-3, but they took it away in the second half.
And Scott beat double coverage that time. He's such a threat. He is the man that can take the pressure off Payton.
The Eagles moved to 5-1 in the NFC East. Roland Harper batters his way inside the 10-yard line. Getting down close to the 7. Well, they mark it at the 8-yard line. It'll be second down and 7 to go. The 10-yard marker just outside the 1 of Minnesota.
And rookie tight end Robert Fisher coming in with the play from the sidelines.
Baschnagel comes out to the right. Earl and Fisher make a double tight. Short drop, quick sideliner. Baschnagel, what a catch to the 4-yard line. Brian Baschnagel, a diving grab in front of Johnny Turner. He'll be short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the first down, with the ball at the just inside the 4-yard line.
And it's coming right at us as you see Baschnagel look the ball in and make the grab, puts him on a 3rd and 4 situation for the touchdown, but they have less to go for the first down, about 2.5.
Studwell comes in defensively, number 55, along with Nate Wright, number 43 for Minnesota. The Bears threatening. They trail 6-0. Harper and Payton are in together. Open is Earl, touchdown. Robin Earl one-hands it. And the Bears have tied it up at 6-all. A perfectly executed play, an excited converted fullback in Robin Earl. Now a tight end and just flaring off into the end zone. We'll see it here.
Okay, Phipps rolls out with the threat of the run. He rolls to his left, which is more difficult for a quarterback, but he saw Earl out in front of Studwell, and one-hands it, takes it on the hand, brings it in. Touchdown, Chicago Bears, and Robin Earl, I think he's happy. Look how high he is.
All right, so the Bears have tied it up, and Bob Thomas will attempt the point after. It's good. And the Chicago Bears have gone in front. Here in the 3rd period, 1:26 remains, and there is Mike Phipps, who came up with a touchdown pass. The Bears 7, Minnesota 6. Tommy Kramer is ready to come back in for Minnesota. Back-to-back scoring drives. The Bears matching the Vikings and coming up with a touchdown. 67 yards in 10 plays. The Vikings scoring a field goal on their drive. Eddie Payton hit hard at the 27-yard line. Holds onto the ball. And Minnesota will start first down from the 27-yard line. Brad Shearer, number 72, reserve defensive tackle, made the hit. And Mike Phipps, who struggled in the first half, comes up with a scoring strike to rookie tight end Robin Earl, a rookie as a tight end. Earl in now his 4th year as a pro, drafted number 3 from Washington, 1977 as a running back. Vikings 1st and 10, slot formation right. Ricky Young got about 3 yards. Hartenstein put the hit on him.
Kind of a late flag, which might mean that the Bears were piling on here. We'll have to see.
It'll be against Chicago. So the Vikings get some help from the Bears.
Unnecessary roughness, number 99 defense. First down.
Dan Hampton is number 99, second-year man from Arkansas. Tommy Kramer's numbers. Not bad in total yardage, not good in passing percentage, but he trails by only a point. LeCount is in as the 3rd wide receiver, slot left. Kramer pumps once, deep sideline, incomplete. Intended for LeCount. Schmidt on the coverage. The pass was short and behind both LeCount and Schmidt.
LeCount was looking down the field, didn't even know the ball was coming. Neither did Terry Schmidt, and Kramer just had to throw it. He was under pressure from Hartenstein.
Might have been just as well he was short, because Schmidt had LeCount covered like a blanket.
He certainly did. A very underrated cornerback. Does a great job for Chicago.
From the 46-yard line of Minnesota, the Vikings 2nd and 10. Intended for Rashad. Again, some pressure from a blitzing linebacker, Tom Hicks. Kramer unloaded rapidly and missed everything. How about this one, Johnny? Dallas shredding San Francisco, 45-7. Danny White has passed for 4 touchdowns today. And they're not going to forget Roger Staubach, now one of our CBS commentators, but they are certainly going to welcome young Danny White, who is rapidly coming into his own as the starter there. Cincinnati has defeated Pittsburgh 17-16. The Steelers have lost twice, both times to the Bengals. 3rd down and 10. Slot left. Kramer sideline for White. He has it. Sammy White to the 40-yard line of Chicago. And suddenly, as we thought might happen, both teams starting to move the ball.
That was a nice grab under control, and he got it just in bounds. And Tommy Kramer is really something. One pass he could be way off, and the next one that has to be perfect. He is so perfect, it's unbelievable. So I guess that's why Bud Grant says in the long run, this young man's going to be around for a long time here in Minnesota.
First down, Vikings at the 40. Ted Brown tackled from behind, but his forward progress and second effort get him about 4 yards on the play. Mike Hartenstein making the tackle on him. He got the ball to the 37-yard line. Pickup of close to 4 on the play. And Johnny, who did you like in the San Diego-Oakland game as we see this one into overtime, Green Bay and Tampa Bay? How about San Diego?
I picked San Diego to win big.
Okay, well, they're losing 7-0 in the first period. Osborne is in the backfield at the time that Brown got the ball. Make it Ricky Young. And Osborne nearly had the ball handed to him. It's a loss on the play of about 2.
Boy, it didn't take long for him to get to a 3rd and long situation, did it? Seemed like they just got the first down. So the Bear defense got to get them a lot of credit. They've had 3 games they haven't allowed a touchdown. They haven't allowed a touchdown in this game so far.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score: the Bears 7, Minnesota 6. The Bears 38-yard line. Vikings to our left this final period. The Bears to our right and white. Out of the shotgun, Kramer pumps once and is dumped by Hampton. The initial heat from Hartenstein, and Hampton got him for a big loss back to the 46-yard line and 4th down.
The Bears worked a little twist with Page there, and you'll see number 54, Tom Hicks, which took up some of the blocking, and Kramer couldn't find his receiver, had to pump. Hartenstein with pressure, and number 99, Dan Hampton, makes the sack for Chicago.
Another final, Johnny. The Baltimore Colts defeated Buffalo 17-12. So the Bills fall out of the unbeaten ranks. Coleman's punt, angling.
Oh.
Vikings bounce and down by the count at the 2-yard line. Greg Coleman delivers a super punt. And so with 14:22 remaining in the 4th quarter, the score: the Bears 7, the Vikings 6. Will return to Bloomington, Minnesota after this word from your local station.
Tuesday, a reunion beckons a man back to his high school girlfriend. But it's her teenage daughter who ends up stealing his heart. Reunion, a television premiere Tuesday night.
This is CBS.
In God's country, there's a beer unlike any other. A beer that is fully kreuzened, naturally carbonated in the traditional old world way. Kreuzening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive.
Minnesota showing a 3-4 defense here as the Bears have first down from their 2-yard line following that excellent punt by Greg Coleman. Houston with the lead over Kansas City, 3-0 early. 2 setbacks in the end zone. Harper and Payton. Long count from Phipps. Straight ahead, Roland Harper gets over the 5 out to the 6-yard line. That's tough duty in there. Good blocking, good run by Harper. Studwell and McNeil combined on the tackle. They have Studwell, Seaman, McNeil, and Dennis Johnson. Remember, Matt Blair will not return. He left with a shoulder injury early in the 3rd quarter.
If the Bears were in that double tight end situation, they like the Vikings to be in a 3-4. They have that double tight end because they can't shoot any gaps.
Well, they have double tight end now, but they kept 2 running backs in. 2nd and 5.5. Harper again picked up 2, maybe 3 yards. Slicing underneath was Duck White to pull him down. And it'll be 3rd down and 2.5. Studwell goes out. Roller comes in on this 3rd and short situation with the Bears backed up deep in their own end. They lead it 7-6. We are in the 4th period.
Big play, big play.
Bears come out double tight with a wing on the right side. They give it to Payton. Payton gets 2 good blocks and turns it upfield. Turner pulls him down from behind. A first down out to the 30-yard line. Excellent blocking, Johnny, out the right side. And Payton turned it on.
They decided to go wide with Walter Payton coming from the left halfback spot. Nothing straight ahead this time as we'll take a look at the replay. Let's see what happened.
I like this call.
Oh, yes. Harper throws a good block. Payton dipped inside of the kick-out block and then turns it up the field, and he's tough to bring down. You get him out in the open field. John Turner, number 27, finally gets his hands on him, but the Bears probably got the most important first down of the game. They're out to their 30-yard line. They were on the 2.
Payton is up to 95 yards on the day. First down. Pass, and he is sacked. The ball is loose. And it's Vikings ball. It's grabbed by the rookie Dennis Johnson. I'm not sure who made the initial hit. I believe Holloway. He had pumped once and was about to make the throw when he got hit. Here it is.
Here's the pump, and then the block. It looked like McNeil.
McNeil. It is McNeil.
And there's the ball was loose as he was going down, and Mike's trying to reach for it, but too late for him. Dennis Johnson got it. First down, Minnesota.
So the Vikings defense, which has been a force today, comes up with a big play and a first down at the 20-yard line of the Bears. Bears lead it 7-6. Ricky Young strung out, and Dan Hampton making an excellent play with Fensick fighting off the block. Hampton making the tackle behind him. Gain of less than a yard, maybe a yard on the play.
The New York Jets have taken a 7-0 lead over Atlanta in the first quarter of their ball game. The Vikings ran the right call that time. Actually, Hampton charged to the outside. The Bears had all three of their linebackers inside the defensive ends and had the ends charge wide.
Second down and 9. One running back is Ted Brown, slot left. Short drop and the pass to McCann. Did he get there? They say no, but he's very close. Terry Schmidt made the tackle at the 6-inch line, and the Vikings are about to go ahead.
Tough play for Terry Schmidt. Good play by the Vikings. They created the lane for Kramer to throw the ball through, and there was LeCount on the run. Schmidt makes the tackle. He reaches and reaches, not quite far enough, but first down. And the key there was for the offensive lineman on the right side of the line to create the crease, the open gap for Kramer to throw that type of pass through.
It is first and goal, and they're almost at the goal line. They have three tight ends here with Brown and Ricky Young as the setbacks. Touchdown, Vikings, Ted Brown. And so Minnesota has gone back in front. They led this game early, 3-0 on a Dan Meyer field goal in the first period. Fell behind in the third quarter on the touchdown to Robin Earl from Mike Phipps after Dan Meyer had sent them up 6-zip. And now they're back in front. 20 yards in 3 plays, with Ted Brown taking it in. Dan Meyer will be in for the point after. Running into the fourth quarter, the Vikings had 14 first downs to the Bears 9, but were trailing at the time. Dan Meyer is good. A flag is down. We have had a bunch of penalties.
Offside, defense, the point is good.
All right, so offside will be charged on the kickoff against the Bears. It is 13-7 Minnesota. Twice now the Minnesota Vikings have scored off fumbles by the Bears. Dan Meyer's opening field goal off the fumble by Bob Parsons. Ted Brown's touchdown off the fumble by Mike Phipps, with the sack coming from Fred McNeil. Dan Meyer kicks it off. Suey from the 5-yard line. Suey to the 25-yard line for the Bears. The Jets have taken a 7-0 lead over Atlanta in the first period. Scott Derking scored. Dallas now 52-7 over San Francisco, and they are still in the third period.
Let's take a look at Keith Nord, who's always in on the play somewhere, and he comes down, gets right in the thick of the action, takes a shot, really. Lee Kuntz says, welcome to the Minnesota turf. And he gets up. Lee Kuntz says, come on, let's try it again. Keith Nord's going to say, get me off this kickoff tune.
First down, Bears from their 25-yard line. They trail by 6. Roland Harper, nowhere to go. A pile up at the line of scrimmage. Most of the front 4 of the Vikings in on the tackle, with Dennis Johnson, the linebacker, getting into the action, slicing in from the outside. Number 52.
Look at that one, 52-7. That was my pick of the week, San Francisco.
My goodness.
No, it wasn't, but I thought San Francisco could be closer than that.
Well, it's a tough day for Bill Welch's young team that got off so well, 4-0. San Diego and Oakland are tied at 7. John Cappelletti has scored for the Chargers. 2nd and 8. Gain of 2 by Harper. Phipps, Watts, first down yardage. They'll mark it at the 42-yard line. Ricky Watts, number 80. Perfectly delivered pass. Johnny Turner, the cornerback, number 27, made the tackle. Both teams starting to move the ball much more effectively here in this second half.
Ricky Watts goes back out of the game, but he did a good job on coming back towards the ball. Watts has had some ankle problems, hasn't been able to run, but basically straight ahead. He has tremendous speed, but now he's got his mobility back, and he's helping out on those turn-ins a little bit.
Bashnagle is in, number 84. He's wide right. Scott is wide left. Bears come out in the eye. Now they drop the tight end off to the wing. In motion is Earl. Payton. He's got room on the corner. Payton to the 50-yard line. Pushed out by Kurt Knopf, the safety, and the linebacker Johnson, number 52. Gain of about 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Here's what it looks like from the ground level. As Dennis Johnson comes over, Payton gets around the horn. It's really dangerous when you let him get around that horn, as Bobby Bryant kind of helps him down to the ground. Not real enthusiastically, but he helps out.
Another 100-yard day for Walter Payton.
That's 5 in a row against the Vikings that he has had up here. And then one year, about 2 or 3 years ago, he got 275 yards.
That's right. 2nd and 1. The Bears on a mini drive.
Look at Harper.
Harper, good defensive play out the left side by Tom Hannon, the safety. 2nd and 1. It was a good call by the Bears to go for the pass there, but Hannon sniffed it out, and he made an outstanding play. No gain. It is 3rd and 1.
He sure did make a good play, because Harper had him one-on-one. He got the pass out there, and Hannon had to make that tackle, or it would have been a 10 or 12-yard gain, and he did the job. As we look at that's a balloon, I guess, huh?
I've always wanted to do that.
I have once.
Yeah?
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'd like to do that. Across the wine country in France, there's a tour you can do that on.
You don't want much, do you?
3rd and 1. The Bears in a key situation again. Harper has it. Good hole off right tackle. And Harper pulls his way down to the 36-yard line. Excellent running, but what a hole opened up by Dennis Lick and Reevy Sorey. Well, that Gucci belt must have dazzled the Minnesota defenders.
A lot of it had to do with Walter Payton, too. He's over the left. Everybody kind of keeps an eye at Payton. A great block there by Lick and Sorey. Everybody down the field, and then Harper showing some power in those legs. Dragged about 5 Minnesota Vikings down to the 37-yard line. The Bears are coming right back. This game is heating up by the minute.
It sure is. They're moving the ball, both teams, both ways. First down. Payton. Blockers in front of him. Perfectly played at the corner by the Vikings. The linebacker McNeil now playing on the left side in Matt Blair's spot. Cleveland leads Seattle 7-0 in the first period. Harper, you mentioned how powerfully he ran. He's now got 58 yards rushing on 11 carries.
Well, that's good to see that for Roland Harper, because when you're out for well over a year like he is, you sometimes have doubts of whether you can ever come back, and he's proving that he is coming back.
A loss of a half yard on that last play. It is 2nd, 10.5. Double tight end. One running back is Payton. Phipps up the middle, almost intercepted by Seaman. Intended for Fisher, the tight end. And you know, Payton sneaking out was wide open, short. Phipps thought he could get it to Fisher, and Seaman, the linebacker, nearly picked it off. 3rd down. New Orleans leading Detroit 3-0, and that game affecting this one, obviously, with Detroit holding a 2-game lead over the rest of the Central Division in the NFC. The Saints have yet to win a game, and they lead 3-0 in the second period. 6 defensive backs are in on this 3rd and long. accounted for James Scott, Bobby Bryant, and Kurt Knopf on the coverage. And it's 4th down, Chicago.
A little bit too long for a field goal, so Bob Parsons will punt, apparently, but Parsons has a great record as fake punting and throwing the ball. However, I don't think at this point they would do that, because Minnesota is in a defense where they're expecting something possibly to go funny.
They sure are. They've got all kinds of people back there. Going for the corner, and it gets a Minnesota bounce into the end zone, and will be a touchback. So the Vikings will start from their 20-yard line as they had stopped the Chicago drive, and they lead 13-7, 6:56 remaining regulation time. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Bloomington, Minnesota, where the Vikings have stopped the Bears drive and have first down from their own 20-yard line. The Rams leading St. Louis 14-7 now in the third period. This is Ted Brown, and he has met at the line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. Second effort got him a yard, maybe two. Page and Hartenstein, the right side of the Bears' front four, combined to make the stop.
And Alan Page is so smart. He watches the action of the guards and the flow of the backs, and watch him just take his charge and go from Langer, and then gets a hand on and gets in the tackle. He's always around the play. If he doesn't make the sack, he seems to force the quarterback to run into somebody else. He's such a vital part of this Bears defensive line and the defensive team.
Langer and Vela are in the offensive line now for the Vikings. They've been alternating with Swilly and Yari. Kramer wants to throw, and he gets it off to Sensor. He is pulled down behind the line, and it was Gary Fensick coming up to make the defensive play.
And there is Bud Grant, because who wasn't putting the pressure on Kramer? You bet. It was Alan Page, who used to play for Bud Grant. Now he's sending Tucker in with a play. Obviously, he's talking with Jerry Burns upstairs. Bud Grant, who has the second most victories in professional football next to George Halas, Papa Bear Halas. That's including his victories up in the Canadian Football League.
Quite a career up there. Third down and 11 for the Vikings. Kramer running out of time, running out of space. Sacked at the 15-yard line. Good coverage deep for the Bears, as he had good initial time, but Osborne and Hicks got to him, and the Vikings will have to punt.
Jim Osborne, number 68, who always plays a good game, it seems like. Here he is, putting the pressure. He gets by Wes Hamilton, jumped first to try and prevent Kramer from throwing, and then gets in on the tackle with help from Tom Hicks. Good pressure by the Bears, but more importantly on that particular play, good coverage downfield, like you mentioned, Tim.
Coleman standing at his goal line at the 45-yard line of the Bears is Lenny Waldershot. Coleman hits from the 5. Good kick. He's kicked very well today. Waldershot at the 47. Trying to go wide and cannot do it. It was Robert Miller, number 35, reserve running back, who got him down. But the Bears still have pretty good field position near midfield. They trail 13-7 with 4:41 to go. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, and we're looking, as you are, at Alan Page, who try it as I might, I couldn't get him to comment on anything special about playing here in Minnesota. You got to know that he gets himself up a little higher than normal. In motion is Harper. The pitch out to Payton. He bobbled it, and now he's cut down behind the line of scrimmage. 4 Vikings were in, led by Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, number 50, and followed immediately by Johnny Turner, number 27. Loss of 3 on the play.
It's amazing the illusion you get. You know, Payton has been stopped. He's been stopped several times behind the line of scrimmage, yet he's got over 100 yards rushing. He always winds up with a lot of yards.
Nate Wright and Keith Nord are in the backfield defensively for the Vikings on 2nd and 13. 6 defensive backs. Slot formation left for the Bears. Phipps with time, delivers to Watts, complete to midfield. A pickup of 8 yards on the play. But it'll be 3rd down and still close to 7 to go. Let's call it 6.5. Kurt Knopf made the tackle.
There are 3 minutes and 34 seconds left to go, so this is an important drive. Obviously, if they lose the ball here, and the Vikings can get 2 or 3 first downs, the Bears will be in big trouble. So this is the key play, 3rd and 7.
13-7 Viking lead on the touchdown by Ted Brown in the 4th period. Phipps has time, and it's intercepted. Intended for Baschnagel. Johnny Turner picked it off. Stepping in front of the intended receiver, Baschnagel made the tackle, and the Vikings have another big defensive play. 13-7 their lead with 3:05 to play.
Here's another look at that interception. A straight 4-man rush by the Vikings. Not too much pressure, and it looks to me like it's just a case of Phipps just threw the wrong man who was covered. Baschnagel was covered by Turner, and he threw it right in Turner's hands. You get a 0 on your grade for that kind of play.
The 3rd interception of the day against Mike Phipps. 2 of them by Johnny Turner, and there he is. And they have come at key times. In the things could be worse category, Dallas now leads San Francisco 59-7. First down, Vikings. They are in command at their own 45-yard line. Ted Brown picks up about 3 before he is swarmed under. Tom Hicks leading the Bears defenders on the play. 2:56 and counting. A 13-7 lead. Brown's touchdown early in this 4th quarter is the margin. Tucker and Sensor are in at double tight ends for the Vikings. Rashad leaving. Split left is Sammy White. Ricky Young cutting back behind the left guard, picked up 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5, and the Bears call timeout. They have got to somehow do something to stretch this game out. 2:15 remaining. Hicks made the tackle. In the overtime, they are still tied. 3rd and 4.5. They go here to Ted Brown. He takes it outside, and he is cut down short of the first down. Brown had no hole straight ahead. He took it outside and was hit hard, and he is a little slow to get up. Allen Ellis made the saving tackle there, stopping him 2 yards short of the first down. A big, big defensive play for the Bears.
It certainly was. It was a body block type of tackle by Ellis. It looked like Brown, as he dipped out of the draw to the outside, looked like he was surely going to get the 4 yards for the first down. Watch the tackle by Ellis, number 48. He comes up and dumps him right in his tracks. Good play, and it may give the Bears that one shot they need to try and pull this victory out. There's Allen Ellis, who also went through a lot of knee problems for a year or so, and now he's got a smile on his face as Gary Fensick says, "Nice job, Allen."
Waltershy, the lone Bear receiver, down at the 10-yard line. And remember the importance of this game with Detroit. 2 games up on the rest of the division. No matter how artistic the victory turns out to be, whoever gets it has put themselves right back into the race. The Bears have everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and you know they're coming. Coleman gets it away. Waltershy lets it bounce, and it just gets into the end zone. A close call there.
Greg Coleman is the most animated football player I've ever seen. Boy, he went down to his knees, said, "Oh, no, no." Let's take another look as the Bears try and come up the middle for the block, and they don't get there. Here comes the punt. It's still Minnesota 13, Chicago 7.
A Chris Barr field goal has Oakland in front of San Diego 10-7. The Raiders, of course, without Pastorini, and having to go with Jim Plunkett at quarterback and giving San Diego a difficult time in the 2nd period. 1:59 remains here. The Chicago Bears will have first down on the touchback from their own 20-yard line. And the textbook 2-minute drill would theoretically have them winning the football game, but The Vikings have other ideas, and they have been brilliant defensively today.
And you're getting a look at number 8, Vince Evans. I don't know if Neil Armstrong is going to send him in or have him ready. Phipps is out on the field right now.
It is now final after overtime. 14-14 Green Bay and Tampa Bay, and they wind up in the tie. The Rams lead St. Louis 21-7 in the fourth quarter of that game. 6 defensive backs are in on first down for the Vikings, as you might expect in your basic prevent. Slot formation right. Play action. Harper's got blockers. Harper gets to the 28-yard line, and the Vikings did a pretty good job closing that down. Tom Hannon, was it Hannon? No, Nord. Keith Nord, number 49, made the hit. It is 2nd and 1. Clock ticking, 1:38 on the clock. Sideliner. Oh, intercepted. Yes, Johnny Turner's third of the game. A diving interception by Johnny Turner, and the Vikings have stopped the Bears and have it first down at the 31. Turner, who had some problems against the Steelers last week, has had no problems here today.
Well, the Bears rushed this play as Phipps went back. It looked like he just overthrew Owen Harper to me. Right there, he overthrew Harper. I don't know if he was throwing to Harper or for the Bashnickel, but whichever one he was throwing to, he missed him. And Turner made a catch just like a wide receiver, and the Vikings now have a chance to put this ball game away because the Bears do not have 3 timeouts.
They have 1 remaining, I believe, and they have 1:30 on the clock. Yes, there is 1 timeout remaining for the Bears. The Vikings, who led early 6-0 and fell behind 7-6 in the third period, are now in the driver's seat with a chance to close up some ground on Detroit.
Well, it's not too often that a defensive back will intercept 3 passes in 1 game, and he did it, and he does a good job for the Vikings. He has to change positions sometimes on some of the defenses that they do. They move inside, play corner, does everything for him, and he certainly has done it today, as the Chicago Bears, I think, will have to evaluate their quarterback situation once again this week.
It is 2nd down. And 9 to go, and not a great deal of effort to go very far. 45 seconds. Timeout. Clock stopped with 46, actually. The ball at the 32-yard line. And that is the final timeout taken by the Chicago Bears. Next week on CBS, this lineup for you. Depending on what part of the country you're in, Dallas at Philadelphia, Green Bay at Cleveland. Dallas-Philly is a big game, of course. Minnesota at Cincinnati. St. Louis at Washington, Atlanta at New Orleans, and Detroit at Chicago. Another key game there. Doubleheader action. We'll have these games. The Rams at San Francisco, the Giants at San Diego, Tampa Bay at Houston.
And in looking at the standings, as you see, Bud Grant, who's a little bit excited, the Chicago Bears will drop into last place in the Central Division because Green Bay and Tampa Bay tied. Minnesota will have won this game 3-3, and no matter what Detroit does, so the Bears will be 2-4 in last place.
New Orleans currently leading the Lions 3-0. And we'd like to thank these gentlemen for their work here today. Our producer on site has been Bill Barnes, our director Chris Erskine out of Chicago, Illinois, and the rest of our outstanding production and technical staff. And Kramer just falls down on it, using up more of that clock. 40 seconds remain. It'll bring up 4th down for the Vikings, and they ought to be able to escape with 1 more of those and have themselves a 13-7 victory. The latest from the Detroit-New Orleans game, the Saints leading 3-0. Still in the first half of that game. By the way, that 3rd interception for Turner tied a Viking club record for interceptions in 1 game held by 4 other Vikings. And Johnny Turner certainly a key performer today for Minnesota. 4th down, 7 seconds remaining, and that's going to do it. Kramer falling down, and so the Vikings, who led early, had to come from behind in the 4th quarter to pull out this victory. And there's still 1 second remaining. The players coming on the field And the officials saying we got to get one more second off here. It'll be first down for the Chicago Bears with 1 second to go. Kind of an unusual situation that they couldn't quite knock off that final second.
Well, they would have been better off to. You never know what's going to happen with 1 second. Boy, you throw one up there. I'm amazed. I wasn't watching that clock that closely myself, but they could have run backwards 5 yards or whatever just to make sure that the clock was stopped. So now you better get about 8 men down the field and don't let some weird play happen. I've seen it happen before, haven't you?
Well, I can't remember one with 1 second. I'm sure.
I can.
They've got 3 wide receivers out to the left side. And it's Vince Evans.
Look at the Viking quarterback going down. They're right out at the goal line.
The Vikings have got people back at their 15.
Vince Evans is going to throw the ball, and he can throw it.
Boy, did he ever throw it, too. It's loose and incomplete off fingertips, and that'll do it. Well, that added something a little more interesting than your basic 1 second finish. And the Minnesota Vikings have defeated the Chicago Bears 13-7. They've evened their record at 3-3. The latest in the Detroit-New Orleans game still has the Saints up by 3-0. But the Minnesota Vikings have moved into second place. And remember that, as Johnny indicated, that Tampa Bay and Green Bay, also in this division, played themselves into a tie after a full overtime period. So in this football game, the Vikings took an early 3-0 lead on Dan Meyer's field goal that came off Bob Parsons' fumble. Then they went ahead 6-0 on another Dan Meyer field goal in the 3rd period. Then it was Phipps to Robin Earl from 4 yards out, capping a 67-yard drive, and the Bears were finally on the board and in front, 7-6. But turnovers being the big difference in the game. Dennis Johnson, the rookie linebacker, recovered Mike Phipps' fumble after he was sacked by McNeil, and they marched in with Ted Brown going over from a yard out to give them a 13-7 victory, and Turner stopped their final drive with his 3rd interception of the day late in the 4th quarter. So for Johnny Morris, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from Bloomington, Minnesota, and returning you now to New York and Brent Musburger.
All right, thank you very much, Tim Ryan. The moral is, if you play on a Monday night, try to stay home and not go on the road. There was one unbeaten team when we started the day, the Buffalo Bills, coached by one Chuck Knox. They were matched against the Baltimore Colts, and this man, Burt Jones, going to Mike Ciani, Irv.
Boy, and Burt Jones is in the lineup. The Colts, of course, a completely different ball club. Here's touchdown number 1 for him.
Joe Ferguson out of the shotgun, tried to rally the Bills. And here, it's a 26-yard gain, and Roosevelt Leaks a short time later stormed over. What about this disputed play? Interference about to be called on a Colt pass.
Big play for the Colts. Of course, the ball is thrown here, and the Buffalo Bills come up with what appears to be an interception, but there was pass interference called on the defense. The Baltimore Colts retain possession inside the 5-yard line.
As a result, Don McCauley went across for what turned out to be the winning touchdown. And how about the rest of the scores? Burt Jones jubilant, and so too were the Philadelphia Eagles, trailing 16-3 at the half. They came back. Jaworski 18-28 for 212 yards and a touchdown. The final for the game you just saw, 17-12 Baltimore. In overtime, Green Bay and Tampa Bay settle for a 14-14 tie. Cincinnati makes it a sweep over Pittsburgh, 17-16, snaps the Steelers' 18-game winning streak in Pittsburgh. Miami shut out for the first time in 10 years by New England, 34-0 to count there. And of course, the game you just watched, 13-7, the Vikes over the Bears. The Rams and the Cardinals are still at it, and it is now 21-13. It was 14-0, and the Cardinals came back, now 21-13 in the 4th period. San Francisco being routed by the Dallas Cowboys, 59-14, and then a finish. The New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. The Jets struck first, and it is now 7-0 in the 2nd period. Also in the 2nd period, Houston leading Kansas City. Oh, they're running up points all over the place. That's going to be about 18-0, something like that, huh? It's in the 2nd. Let's make it 10. That's the accurate. There's that 0 I was looking for you. Now in the 2nd period, Cleveland over Seattle, 7-3 in the 2nd. Oakland leading San Diego 10-7 in the 2nd. And also in the 2nd period, New Orleans with a field goal ahead of Detroit 3-0. The NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Packers playing the Buccaneers in Florida. And Irv Cross, you love James Lofton, and he was able to score on one of Lynn Dickey's passes.
His great jumping ability and tremendous hands. If you get the ball up high, chances are he's going to come down with it. Here's a big guy latches onto this one, takes it inside the 5.
and Turdell Middleton off tackle for a touchdown run. Then came the big play for the Bucks. This interception by Richard Wood.
Richard Wood's a pretty agile linebacker, kind of a character too. They call him Batman down there at Tampa Bay. Picks this one off and goes all the way and gets the Bucks on the board.
Lynn Dickey struck again on a pass to his tight end, Paul Kaufman, for 6 yards and the score. And the Pack led it 14-7. But fourth quarter action, and here comes an athlete who reminds me of Bobby Douglas. Scrambles in, they're tied, they go to overtime. And with a second to go, Tom Burney misfires on a 36-yarder. He also missed a 25-yarder with a minute to go in regulation. And last year, of course, Tom Burney was 7 of 9. And so for Irv Cross, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from New York.
The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports. This is